Mind Matters. Trauma and emotional healing. Childhood emotional neglect. When nothing big happened, but something was missing. Hello everyone, and welcome back to Mind Matters. Today we are talking about a type of emotional pain that many people carry without realizing it. It is called childhood emotional neglect. Sometimes when people hear the word trauma, they imagine something very dramatic. They imagine abuse, violence, or major life events. But trauma does not always come from something that happened. Sometimes trauma comes from something that did not happen. From something that was missing. Maybe no one noticed your feelings. Maybe no one asked how you were doing. Maybe your emotions were ignored, minimized, or misunderstood. Nothing looked wrong from the outside. But inside, something important was absent. Today we will explore what childhood emotional neglect is, why it can be difficult to recognize, how it affects the mind and nervous system, how it influences relationships and self-worth, and how emotional healing can begin. Take a slow breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Let's begin. Part 1. What is childhood emotional neglect? Childhood emotional neglect happens when a child's emotional needs are not noticed, responded to, or supported. It does not always involve harsh words or harmful actions. Often it is quiet and invisible. A child may have food, clothes, and education. But emotional connection may be missing. Parents might be busy, stressed, overwhelmed, or emotionally unavailable. They may love their child deeply but not know how to express emotional support. The child learns an important lesson without words. My feelings do not matter. Or, my feelings are too much. Over time, this message becomes part of the child's identity. Part 2. Why emotional connection matters. Children learn about emotions through relationships. When a child feels sad and a caregiver responds with warmth, the child learns that sadness is safe to express. When a child feels scared and someone comforts them, the child learns that fear can be handled. These moments help the nervous system grow in a healthy way. They teach the brain how to regulate emotions. Without these experiences, a child may struggle to understand their feelings. They may feel confused when emotions appear. They may push feelings away or feel overwhelmed by them. Emotional neglect interrupts the process of emotional learning. Part 3. Signs of childhood emotional neglect in adulthood. Many adults who experienced emotional neglect do not realize it. They may simply feel different from others. Some common experiences include difficulty identifying emotions, feeling numb or disconnected from feelings, feeling empty without understanding why, being very self-reliant and avoiding asking for help, feeling uncomfortable when others show deep emotion, struggling with self-worth, feeling like something is missing but not knowing what it is. These experiences can affect many parts of life: relationships, work, and personal identity. Part 4. The silent message. Children are very observant. Even when parents say loving words, children notice emotional responses. If a child shares a feeling and receives silence or dismissal, the child learns a powerful lesson. Do not show emotions. Do not need too much. Handle everything alone. This silent message can stay with a person for many years. It can shape how they interact with the world. Some people become extremely independent. Others struggle with closeness because emotional intimacy feels unfamiliar. Part 5. How emotional neglect affects the brain. The brain develops rapidly during childhood. Emotional interactions help shape brain circuits related to empathy, self-awareness, and stress regulation. When emotional support is limited, certain pathways may develop differently. The brain may become more focused on self-protection. The nervous system may stay alert to potential rejection. This does not mean the brain is damaged. It simply means it adapted to the environment it experienced. The brain is also capable of change throughout life. Healing is possible because the brain can learn new patterns. Part 6. Relationships and emotional neglect. People who experienced emotional neglect may struggle with emotional closeness. Some common patterns include Difficulty expressing needs. Feeling uncomfortable receiving care. Avoiding vulnerability. Choosing partners who are emotionally distant. Feeling misunderstood in relationships. These patterns are not signs of weakness. They are protective habits learned during childhood. Understanding these patterns is the first step toward change. Part 7. Rediscovering emotions. Healing from emotional neglect often begins with learning about emotions again. This process can feel unfamiliar at first. Some people ask themselves simple questions such as, what am I feeling right now? Where do I feel it in my body? What might this emotion be trying to tell me? These questions build emotional awareness slowly. Journaling can also help. Writing thoughts and feelings allows the mind to explore emotions safely. Over time, the emotional world becomes clearer. Part 8. Self-compassion. One of the most important parts of healing is self-compassion. People who experienced emotional neglect often become very self-critical. They may believe they should not have emotional needs. But emotional needs are part of being human. Self-compassion means speaking to yourself with kindness. Instead of saying, something is wrong with me, you might say, my feelings are valid. I am learning to understand them. This shift can feel small, but it is powerful. Part 9. Building safe connections. Healing also happens through safe relationships. This could be with friends, family members, support groups, or therapists. When someone listens and responds with care, the brain begins to experience something new. Emotional safety. Each supportive interaction helps reshape expectations about connection. Trust grows slowly, but it grows. Part 10. Guided reflection. Let us take a moment to pause. If you feel comfortable, close your eyes. Take a slow breath in. And slowly breathe out. Imagine yourself as a child. Notice their face. Notice their emotions. Now imagine speaking to that younger version of yourself. You might say, your feelings matter. You deserved understanding. You deserved emotional support. You are not alone anymore. Take another slow breath. Feel the calm in your body. Part 11. The possibility of healing. Healing from childhood emotional neglect does not happen overnight. But every small step matters. Learning to notice emotions. Allowing yourself to ask for support. Practicing kindness toward yourself. Each step helps the nervous system feel safer. Over time, the sense of emptiness can be replaced with connection. Connection to yourself. Connection to others. Part 12. Important reminders. If you recognize yourself in this conversation, remember. Your experience is valid. Even if nothing dramatic happened. Even if others say your childhood looked normal. Emotional needs are real needs. And emotional healing is possible at any stage of life. Your story is still unfolding. Closing message. Today we explored childhood emotional neglect. We learned that trauma can come from what was missing, not only from what happened. We discussed how emotional neglect affects identity, relationships, and emotional awareness. And we talked about how healing can begin through awareness, compassion, and connection. Take one last slow breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. Your feelings matter. Your healing matters. And you deserve emotional understanding. This is Mind Matters. Be gentle with your mind. It is learning to feel again.